The Need for Speed franchise has been very highly acclaimed ever since its very first game due to its addicting high-speed arcade racing and impressive amount of real-world cars, but it didn't reach the worldwide success it has today until the 1998 release of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. That game was very heavily praised upon its release due to its intense gameplay created by its impressive police AI that were a vast improvement from the previous Need for Speed title. The 2002 release of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 was received even better due to its improvements of pretty much every aspect of the franchise, making it hands down the best Need for Speed game to date. However, it was not until E3 2010 that players finally learned that that year's Need for Speed title would be the long-awaited sequel to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, and the reviews from the few people who got to play it early were very positive. When the game publicly released in November, it was met with players and critics both praising the incredible graphics, addicting gameplay, extremely fun online modes, and what is probably the best police AI in the series even to this day. The main complaint with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010 is that that game lacks the expansive car customization from all of the previous titles before Hot Pursuit 2. It was reverted back to just picking from a few different colours per car. Also, the lack of any story aside from a few introductory cutscenes angered some players, but most people weren't that bothered as it didn't do anything to hinder the really good gameplay. This game, however, was the last that anyone heard from the Hot Pursuit series of Need for Speed games until October 5th, 2020, that it was revealed that Hot Pursuit 2010 would be getting a remaster for the current generation of consoles. Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered is still just as fun as the original game was when it first came out, and it adds much more content than before. Console players get 60 frames per second for the first time, and PC players now have access to all of the DLC that was missing from the previous release for some unknown reason. The objective of this game is to rise to the top of the ranks of either Seacrest County's police department or a legal street racing scene by earning bounty, points which are awarded for impressive driving stunts and completing events. The street racing events include standard races and time trials, both of which have variants with or without police interference, and sometimes even power-ups to defend yourself with. The police events also have time trials, and they also have events where you are given power-ups to arrest either a group of racers before they reach the finish line, or a single racer that can go anywhere on the large map to evade you. Progressing further into the game unlocks faster cars and better power-ups, and there is a total of 141 unique events in the single-player mode. The game's handling has a very arcadey feel to it, where even the grippiest cars in real life can take corners sideways at 160 miles an hour. All of the cars are heavy enough to make massive impacts when ramming the other cars without feeling too cumbersome, and all of the stat differences in each of the cars matter enough to make most cars feel completely different to each other. The game's graphics utilise the same art style that all Need for Speed games have used, where the cars and locations look as realistic as they possibly can be, but the lights in the game, such as the lights on the cars, the street lights and the sparks, are really exaggerated and stylised to give a greater sense of speed and impact. The graphics of the original Hot Pursuit 2010 are already really good, so the improvements made by the remaster are not immediately noticeable. However, the big change is the frame rate, which is now a consistent 60 frames per second on all versions of the game, unlike on the original release, where only the PC players could get 60 FPS.
contact. He has sustained some damage.
The remaster has also made quite a few improvements to the game's multiplayer mode. For instance, it's now crossplay, meaning that all platforms can play against each other and compete in either the auto-log time features or just the online races. Also in the online races, they've managed to make a lot more balanced so that it's not just the racers running away from the police every single time. Another addition made by the remaster is that the colour picker, whilst used to be just like 5 or 6 different colours depending on what car you picked, is now an entire colour wheel where you can choose exactly what colour you want. And also, not in the game yet but is coming soon, is a livery editor where you can use decals to make and create your own liveries or download those made by other players, a feature made very popular in Need for Speed 2015. So, with all that being said, what are my thoughts on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered? Well, I believe that the game is a very fun arcade racer, and if you're a fan of those types of games, you should definitely pick it up. The single player is fun and will definitely last you a good 15 hours. The multiplayer has tons of replay value, and it combines the best aspects of both the original games. It's also very good value for money due to its many hours of gameplay and cheap £35 asking price. I believe that it's a definite must-buy for fans of Need for Speed and arcade racing everywhere.
Officers have the suspect in custody. This thing is over.